we're looking at adding real numbers, but we have to look at some properties first. So I wanted to go over a couple things with you. The properties, we have commutative property. The order in which you add two numbers does not change the sum. So if I say a plus b, it'll equal the same thing as b plus a. In numbers, it would be like 3 plus negative 2. Well, that will get you the same result as saying negative 2 plus 3. So this is an example of commutative property. Associative property, a plus b plus c, a plus b plus c. They have everything the same. The way you group three numbers in a sum does not change the sum. Notice they put parentheses, grouping a and b together, and then in this one, they group b and c together. It doesn't change the actual outcome. Identity property. The sum of a number and 0 is the number. So if I take a plus 0, I still get a. That's the idea that if we add anything, a 0 to any number, it will still be the exact same number. So that's called the identity property. Here's an example with numbers. Negative 5 plus 0 is still negative 5. That's identity property. Inverse property. The sum of a number and its opposite is 0. So here's the algebra way. A plus opposite a equals 0. Example of numbers. Negative 6 plus 6 equals 0. All right, let's take a look at our next slide. I'm going to pause for just a second here. All right, so we have these three statements here, and we have to figure out which property is being illustrated. Notice that the exact same numbers are on both sides, but we're grouping them differently. Which one of our properties has grouping? Let's think. Associative is who you hang out with. Like, who do you associate with is who you hang out with. And look how they're changing who you hang out with. So associative property of addition. Over here, we have 8.3 and its opposite. If you have a number and its opposite and equals 0, that is the inverse property of addition. It's inverting it. It's making it opposite. Now over here, we have a negative y plus 0.7, and then we switch the order. If you switch the order, you're moving things. Kind of think of like commute, like you commute to school. Commutative property is when you change the order, you move things around. So this is a commutative property. Now let's have you guys try some through a guided practice. So here's yours. Pause the video and see if you can identify the property without looking at your notes. If you need your notes, go back and look and then try to memorize it. Pause your video now and try doing 8, 9, and 10. Okay, welcome back. Notice on number 8, we have 7 and its opposite, and it becomes 0. That is when you undo something, think about, let's see, inversing it, inverse property of addition. Negative 12 plus 0, you've added the 0 to anything, and you get the exact same thing. You get your same self called the identity property. And then look at here, 4 plus 8 and then 8 plus 4. They changed the order. They moved things around. Which one was moving things? Commuting. Commutative property of addition is when you move the order. All right, finally, let's take a look at this. Here's a word problem, comparing numbers. The table shows the annual profits of 2 piano manufacturers. Which manufacturer had the greater total profit for the 3 years? So here's your profit for the first year. Whoops, they didn't make a profit, did they? Second year and third year. So we have to go ahead and look at what the profit was in total, comparing them. So we should probably add up the three numbers and figure out the profit for manufacturer A, and then add them up for manufacturer B. So let's take a look what that looks like. Next slide. Manufacturer A, calculate the total profit, and then we're going to compare their profits. So if we add these numbers, we will get 9.7. Lining up your decimals when you're adding, please. Let me move that down here. And then manufacturer B, we line up our decimals and we get 9.6. 9.7 compared to 9.6. Who has the greater profit? Well, 9.7 is definitely bigger than 9.6. Therefore, manufacturer A had a greater total profit for 3 years. Now, one for you guys to do. Try this one out. In example 4, suppose that the profit for year 4 are negative 1.7 million for manufacturer A and negative 2.1 million for manufacturer B. So you already have the total for the first 3 years. This one you're going to add a negative 1.7 and this one is a negative 2.1. By the way, those negatives indicate that they lost money. There was no profit. So who's going to have the greatest value or profit after this 4th year? Stop your video and find your answer. Welcome back. Let's take a look to see how you did. Oop. Manufacturer A has a greater total profit. So they still have the biggest profit. All right, that's it for tonight. Have a great evening, and I will see you guys tomorrow.